Hi, today I will show you how an AI agent can create and deploy for you a web application starting from a simple textual description of the app. We will use AppifyText.ai, that is an AI agent that in turn uses artificial intelligence and a no-code, low-code platform called DaDaBIK to actually create and deploy the app. This is, after some refinement, the application we will build, an internal tool to manage a car rental business. I will give you some additional details later, but before, I want to stress again that our AI agent actually creates and deploys the app. We are not asking to an AI chatbot such as ChatGPT the code to build the app. We are instead giving instructions and will get as output the application, which is actually created and deployed. I mean, at the end of the process, you get an URL where you can use the app, and if you want, you can refine it with a no-code tool. You can add your own custom code if you want. You can deploy it to a different server of your choice if you want. So we are not talking about code generation. We are giving instructions to an AI agent and get the working app as a result. My name is Eugenio Tacchini. I am the founder of DaDaBIK and AppifyText.ai. I've been working on no-code, low-code for more than 20 years. During the last year and a half, I worked a lot on the intersection between AI and no-code, low-code. I also work in academia, teaching databases and data science in college. Okay, I'm done with the introduction. Let me just quickly show you the application we'll create. We have a dashboard where we can see how the business is going. We can manage our cars on different shops. For each car, we can see the profit generated. Obviously, we can manage rentals. We have a responsive application, multi-users application. We have multiple user groups. Each group has different permissions on the application, and the user interface is in 23 languages. So this was a very quick introduction. I will tell you more later. Now let's start. Let's create the application. So first of all, visit AppifyText.ai. I'm here. I'm already logged in. If you haven't an account yet, you can register for free. You don't need a credit card. You just need an email and a password. And then you log in and you can start, describing your app to AppifyText. All right. So let's discuss a little bit about the app we want to create. Let's say we have a car rental business with multiple offices and deposits, and we need an application to manage our business, basically. So our employees can add and manage cars, customers. They can verify if a car is available and where, and they can start a rental. Okay, so yeah, we can start, giving a name to our app. We can say something like car rental business, and here the description in English or in your own language of the application. I can start with something very generic, like literally create an app to manage a car rental business. That would be already enough, all right? But we would get, a very general car rental business app. What the system thinks is the, let's say, average application to manage a car rental business. But obviously, the more details we add, the better will be, because we will get an application that is tailored on our use case. Okay, so let's say that again we have several deposits, several offices in our business, and that, for example, we want to be able to track the fact that a customer can pick up a car from a deposit and return the car in another deposit. So we should take that into consideration. So let's start adding some details. So we can say I have several shops, for example, in New York City, and I need some basic information for each. So I want to represent each shop with some basic information. Then I can say that I want to keep the archive of my customers and all rentals. Okay, so all the historical archive of our rentals, including the pickup and return shop. So for each rental, we want to know where the car was picked up and where the car was returned. Which kind of information we want to represent for each car? Again, we can leave this decision to the system, or we can in some way force the decision, adding some details. So for example, we can say for each car include, in addition to the basic information. So we are saying to the system, add the, what do you think are the basic information, but also include, for example, an image, the status of the car that can be on rent or available, and the shop where the car, the shop where is currently located, let's say, and what else? And the rental price. Okay, we want the rental price for each car. That's basically it. I just want to add two additional information. For each car, I want to track the list of damages noted after each return, first thing, and also the list of maintenance services performed during its life. So let's add this additional detail. So for each car, I also need a list of damages noted after the return, and a list of maintenance services performed during the car's life. Okay, so that's my instructions for the AI agent. I just need to now click here, create this app, and wait a little bit, some seconds. Okay. Let me clarify that this is just an example. Okay, feel free to try any other application. You have some examples here. If you click here, pick an example. But again, these are just examples. So feel free to use your own description for your own use cases. So in the meantime, we can see the log here. The AI agent designed our app, installed the app on a server, and well, now the app is created and deployed on the server. So I just need to click here to actually use ready to use first version of the app we described here. So let's click here. Okay, we are in the first version of our car rental business app. Okay, let's have a look. So this is just the home page with some general information, and here we have our, let's say, entities. So we have the cars. As you can see, there are already some cars here, some examples of data. Obviously, this is not the real data. This is, just random examples, but they can be useful to start, using the application and see how the application works. So we have cars with make, model, image, status, shop ID, and rental price. So we know for each car where the car is. So we have a shops entity as well, with 3 shops in New York City. We have our customers with first name, last name, email, and other information. And as you can see, this application already provides built-in first of all the basic CRUD features. So for each entity you see here, you can add, delete, modify, read, search records. So you can here add a customer, modify an existing customer, and so on and so forth. Plus other features that we will see later. You also have a spreadsheet like edit. We call it inline edit. So I can just double click here, for example, and change the phone number of a customer. This is a responsive application, so it works great also on small screens, as you can see. And what else? The application is, at the moment, is stored in my account. So if I go back here to the homepage of AppifyText, from the homepage, I have my app library here that at the moment only contains one application, car rental business, but you may have more than one applications, and you log out, tomorrow you log in again, and you have your application exactly as you created and modified the day before. So you can start them, delete them, modify them, or send feedback about them. But let me continue the explanation of what AppifyText.ai created for us. We said cars, customers, shops, we have rentals. So here there is the archive of all our rentals. So our Ford has been rented by Bob, pickup date, return date, and the pickup shop was the shop number 3, and that was also the return shop, and that's the total price. And then we have damages. So for example, from here we know that the Toyota, for the Toyota, after the rental one, we noted a scratch on door, and the cost to repair it was 50. Okay, and the list of maintenance services. Again, for each car, obviously you can have more than one service for each car. These again are just examples. And we have the description of the service and the cost. I'm noticing now that one important field is missing, the date of the service, and this is one of the thing we will add in a minute. All right. Let's see a typical workflow. So let's say, for example, that we have to register a new car, and then a customer starts a rental and picks up exactly that car. All right. So first we have to add the car. So create new. Let me be nostalgic for a moment and let me add the car that has been my own car for many years, the Mazda Miata. And the picture, I have a picture of an old picture of my car, and this was my Miata. Status is available. That's one additional thing we have to fix, because we don't want to write to type available. We probably need a radio button that allows us to choose between the two states. Shop ID, let's say that is in the shop 1, and the rental price is I don't know, 50, just a random number. All right, that's our car. So this is the results grid. Obviously you can edit the record if you need to change something, and you also have a details view that is just a read-only page. We will see all the features later. For the moment, let's just focus on the workflow. So this is the car. Well, we can just pick up an existing customer. For example, John Smith having ID. As you can see, for each entity, we have an ID that uniquely represents each row in the table. So let's say that John Smith today is picking up the Miata from the shop number 1. So rentals, create new, car ID, Mazda, customer John, pickup date is today. We don't have a return date yet. Pickup store 1, and total price again still not available. Okay, so save. There we go. So we have just created a rental record. So then when the customer will return the car, we can open again this record and fill the return date, the return shop, and the total price. At some point, this total price that now needs to be manually typed will be automatically calculated. But this is part of the things we are going to see later. All right. Okay, what I propose to do right now is to open a document, a blank document here, and write all the improvements we would like to apply to this application. But before doing that, let me show at least a couple of additional things about the app as it is right now. So we said that we have the classic CRUD features, and that we have also some additional features. So let me just show a couple of them. For example, generate chart. You can, starting from your data, you can generate chart. You can do it in a more, advanced mode using SQL, but you can also do it by simply no code, by selecting the kind of chart you want. For example, here we may want to show a bar chart aggregating data by status of the car. So for each status, so available on rent, we want to see how many cars we have. Okay, so we have 3 available car and 1 on rent car. Very similarly, you can create a pivot table. So in the case of a pivot table, instead of a chart, you have just a data table. So we can do exactly the same. We can do exactly the same thing with pivot table, showing, for example, count and also percentage, and that's it. So 3 cars available, that makes the 75% of the total. 1 on rent, that makes the 25% of the total. We can then take these charts, these tabular reports, and use it to create a dashboard, but this is something we will see later. Okay, and maybe I can also show you the fact that built-in you have 23 languages available for the interface of your application. Okay, let's start with our list of features we want to add to our app. Let me tell you that for some of them we could just try to refine our prompt, the one we used here, to get a better app. However, we can also just modify the application by ourselves. Why? Because again, remember that we have used an AI agent that in turns used a low-code no-code platform, that is DaDaBIK, to build an application. So this one is a DaDaBIK application. This means we can use DaDaBIK, that is a no-code low-code platform, to modify it. Okay, and this is what we are going to do. So let me go back here. So the first set of things I want to improve is related to some missing information. We have some missing, I think we have some missing fields in our tables. So let's call this missing fields. Missing fields, and this is adding one. Okay. So for cars, I think we have additional features. So this is something you want to register for each car, which features the car has. For example, GPS, air conditioning, and so on and so forth. So we need this field. We need the type of car. We need the engine. And that's it, I think. Okay. Well, this is not a missing field, but we said that the status, instead of let me go back here. the status, instead of being just a text box, we want a radio button. Additional field type ng, missing. So missing field and fields to improve, let's say. Missing additional feature type to improve status. Must be radio button. All right. And then what else? For customers, we want to know if the customer is an individual or a business entity, and in case the customer is a company, a business customer, we want to add some fiscal ID. For example, in Europe that would be the VAT ID. So missing type, and for business customers, well, VAT ID. Then for, let me check here, I had something here. Okay, for rentals, missing, I want to add a notes field for rental, so we can add some notes. And what else? Okay, required fields. So I want to set some fields as required. At the moment, none of the fields is required, but probably most of them needs to be. So we will improve also that aspect. Then something else I want to do is handling, representing master details relationships. What does it mean? Let me format this. So, for example, here, for each car, when I enter the record of a specific car, I want to see here the list of damages and the list of maintenance services related to this car. This is called master details view or master details form. Okay, so at least cars with damages and maintenance. Okay, maybe some other we have to represent other relationships as well, but for the moment let's stop here. Then I also want to create a dashboard. Basically here I want to have here a dashboard that will be probably our new homepage with some summary of how the business is going. For example, we can add here a chart with our cars, like the one we made before, with the status. We can we can add here a line chart representing, for each day or for each week, how many rentals we had. This could be two good examples. Maybe then we can add more. So dashboard bar chart with status, line chart with rentals count. What else? Users management. Here, well, I'm logged in, and well, you did not see the login process, because when you create an app on AppifyText and you start the app, you are immediately and automatically logged in. But if I log out here, I have to log in with a username and password, and this is the password, the user that is built in, automatically created when you create an app. Is username root, and it's an admin user, a user that can modify, or that can also modify the app. But we probably need to create several user groups with different permissions. So maybe we have managers, we have standard employees, we will see. But we certainly have to do some user management, so create different user groups. For example, managers, employees, public users. Maybe we want to leave open part of our application, so even public user, not logged in, not authenticated user can see part of our application. For example, the list of the cars available. And what else? We have to maybe improve the layout. So let's say the look and feel. So layout, for example, we can change the logo of the application. So by default, you see we have an app logo, like a very generic logo, but we can obviously change it, change the logo, add some icons to the menu. So for example, as you can see, we have icons for home and admin. We can add icons for the other items. This is nice to see, and also useful when you close the menu bar, because you can still see the icon. Okay, icons, and then maybe we can, if we want, we can change fonts and colors. All right, so I would say these are the basic improvements we can start with. Then we have more advanced improvements, for example, the automatic calculation of the cost, the availability check. What else? We can create, for example, a PDF receipt for the customer. There are a lot of things we can do, but we will think about them, and we will list here the advanced improvements later. For the moment, let's focus on these ones, and let's try to actually implement them. All right. Okay, let's start with the first improvements. Very first one was adding some missing fields to cars. All right, so let me explain how this works. This is the application as the final user will see. In our case, the final users are typically the people working in our company, in our car rental business. However, since I'm logged in as root, that is an admin user, I see also additional, let's say, buttons and features. And the most important one is this one: edit this app. This button opens a completely different part of the application that is dedicated to the implementation of new features, modification of the existing tables, fields, many things that we will see. Let me go back to the app, and I prefer to open the admin area in another tab. So this is the admin area on the right, and this is the actual application on the left. So as you can see here, you have a lot of pages here. So let's try to see step by step how to implement our missing features. So the first thing we will see is the data tab. From the data tab, you see your data structures, which are tables and views. We haven't seen what a view is yet, but you know what is a table, right? So for example, cars is a table containing rows or records, one for each car we have in our business. So from here, from the data tab, we can control the fields in the cars table. So ID, make, model, image, status, and blah blah blah. But we said we need 3 additional fields: features, type, and engine. Okay, so add field, add field, add field, features, type, and engine. For each field we have to choose a field type. This is the list of built-in field types. As you can see, it's very generic. So short text, long text, date and time. We have then more specific field type because this is the field type from the point of view of the database, let's say. But then we can specify more the kind of content we want to store there. So let me give you an example. For customer, email is a short text, but then we will see that email is defined as content email, which means that when you enter an email, the system check if it's a valid email address. Okay, at least if the syntax is valid. But we will see that later. For the moment, let's just choose the general field type. So for engine, and here we will have, for example, diesel, electric, hybrid, this kind of things. We need a short text. For type, we also need short text. Here we will write something like sedan, SUV, convertible, van, something like that. For features, we need instead long text. Why? Because we will store more than one feature. But we will see, you will see, and you will understand better later. Anyway, for type and engine, we want to choose the value from a list of options. For features, we want to choose multiple options. Well, at least we want to have the possibility to choose more than one option. All right. Yes, and yes. For the moment, nullable means if these fields can be null. For the moment, let's just say yes, then we will think about it. So save. Okay. Now let's see if the fields are already in our application. So let's go back to the application, and let me just reload the page. And yes, we have features, we have type, and we have engine. Well, we can just manually add the type, the engine, and the features, but this is not what we want. We said we want to choose from a list of options, and this is what I'm going to show you. So from here we move to another page of the admin area. That is probably the page you will use more, and that's the form configurator. So in the form configurator you define many parameters for each field. Okay, you can define the value of many parameters for each field. We can click here, or we can click here to go to open the form configurator already on cars, but that's exactly the same thing, because since we were working on cars, we are on cars anyway. So the form configurator is divided into two sections. Well, on the left you have the actual form configurator. On the right you have the form preview. So you will see how the form will render according to what you do here in the configuration. Okay. So we need to choose a field, and we can work on engine, for example. So engine, I click here, and engine is selected, and starting from here we can change the label, change the position, change the field type, change the content type. We can do many things, but let's focus on the few things that we need right now, some basic things. So engine, we said that we don't want a text box, so field type here is more specific. Here is the DaDaBIK field type, which is more specific than the database field type. So the database field type was short text, but now we select a different option here, and in particular the option we need is select single. Let's have a look to all the field types we have here. So text is the classic text box. All right. Text area is well, if you know HTML, this is a text area, so it's let's say a bigger text box. Rich editor is like a text area, but with some controls that allow you to format your content. Then we have date and time fields. I won't go into the details of each option you have. We have file fields. We have some other field types here that at least for one of them we will discuss later. And then we have list fields. So these four fields are fields that allow you to choose the option from a list. Okay, and in particular select single allows to choose one option from a drop-down menu, which is exactly what we need. Once you have selected here select single, you can fill the menu that right now is empty in two ways: with a hard-coded list of options. So you basically specify here hard-coded the list of options, the list of engines you want to have in your menu, or you can use a lookup field. What is a lookup field? It's a field that as options has the records of another table. Let me show an example of lookup field here. Well, this one, for example, shop ID, that was already created by AppifyText.ai using DaDaBIK, is a lookup field. So for each car, you have as options here the shops you have in the table shops. Okay, this is a lookup field. We don't need a lookup field for engine. We just want to specify to set here the list of options, hard-coded list of options. All right, and to do that, well, we can open the online help to see an example. We need to set to list here our options separated by this character. Okay, so in our case we have petrol, and we have diesel, and then we have electric, and then we have hybrid, and well, that's it. Probably we have more, we need more of them, but just to show you how it works is fine. So this is the preview. As you can see, we have our options here, and save. The label is fine, so engine, well, obviously if I change the label here, we will get a new label in the form, but this is not what I want. So let's move to type. Type is also a select single, and even in this case we want to have a hard-coded list of options. So sedan, and then SUV, and then convertible, and then van. Okay, we can stay with these ones. All right, okay, and save. What else? Features. Let's work on features. So it's not a text area. It's not a select single this time, because we want to be able to select more than one features for each car. So it's a select multiple, not single, multiple menu. So we have a menu, and we can select more than one element for each car. Once again, we need to set the options here. So we have GPS, and then we have I don't know, parking sensor, and then we have cruise control. Okay, these are just some examples. All right, and this is our features field. Let me see. Well, we can already see if this is working in our application. So yeah, it is working. So we have type, we have engine, and we have features, and here we can choose more than one feature. So this kind of control works, but maybe it's not very user-friendly, at least if the list of options is long. So what you can do to improve this is, when you have a select multiple menu, is to set user-friendly searchable to yes. Let me show you the difference. So here you can, grab your options just by typing them. So GPS, what was cruise control, for example, and then well, no, it's convertible, and the engine. Okay. So I mean, so far so good. We added 3 fields, but so missing fields, but we also need to change the status field. Okay, the status field must be a radio button, so not a text field, but a select single radio. A select single radio is exactly as a select single, but instead of having a drop-down menu, you have radio buttons. So once again, here we need to set to list the options. I don't remember the options anymore. Available, and the other one was on rent. So on rent, available, and I would add also in repair, okay, because this is something that may be useful. So all right, let's go back here, edit, okay, that's available, and we have our radio buttons. What else? Customers, missing type, and for business customer we want the VAT ID. Okay, so we have to move back to the data page. Customers, we add a type. Type will be a short text. Basically it will be a radio button with individual or business as options. Nullable, no, let's say. No, for the moment, yes, because we have some records already there without this, without a value for type. Then maybe we will move it to nullable no. Okay, we have to do that for other fields as well later. So save. Type, okay, so form configurator, customers, form configurator, type is a radio button, and we have individual or business or company. Okay, individual or business. Then VAT ID. So VAT ID here on customer. VAT ID, it's short text. I know that the VAT ID is a system that is used mainly in the European Union, but you know, in other countries there are similar systems with a different name. So don't focus too much on the name, just think about an information you only need if type is business, because this is going to be a conditional field, a field we want to display on our form only under certain conditions. Okay, so VAT ID short text, and save. Form configurator, VAT ID, its text is alphanumeric. This is something we haven't explored yet. We don't have, we have the field type, we also have the content type. So for example, a text field type could be alphabetic, alphanumeric, numeric, could be an URL, could be a timestamp, an email, and so on and so forth. Depending on what you choose here, you will see differences in your application in terms of validation, in terms of how DaDaBIK will display the content of your field. But that's something I wanted to tell you that is not strictly related to VAT ID, because for VAT ID, alphanumeric is fine. Let's just change the label like this. What I want to do, however, is to add a conditional rule. I want to show VAT ID only if type is equal to business. Okay, and save. Let's see the result of this. Customers, create new. So I'm creating a new customer with first name, last name, and so on and so forth. We have type. As you can see, the VAT ID is not here. If I click on individual, still is missing. But if I click on business, I get the VAT ID. So that's a conditional field. Okay, let's continue with our list. Next step was on notes on rentals. Notes on rentals. Let's close this tab. So data, rentals. We need a notes field. This is a long text. Save, form configurator, rentals, notes. Maybe, yeah, I mean, there's nothing we have to change basically. So rentals, and let's see, we have the notes here. Well, in the form configurator, we can decide the size of the text area, but let's keep it as it is. Next step was to define the required fields. As we said before, basically all the fields are not required right now, but we want to make some of them required. I will show you how to set a field as required, but I won't do it for all the fields. Let me just show how to do it. So for example, let's say that for rentals, car ID and customer ID are required. Obviously, you cannot add a new rental without the car and without the customer, right? So we want to make them required. So rentals, car ID. From the form configurator, you need to set the field as required. Is the field the required one? Yes. And the same for customers, we said. Okay, and enter to save. So now car ID and customer ID are required. This means that if I try, let's do it, rentals, if I try to enter a new rental without these two values, I will get an error. Notes was already required. All right. When you set a field as required, you should also, from the database structure point of view, set the corresponding field as nullable no, which means that on that field you can never have the null value. All right? Okay. What is the next step? The next step was the master details relationship. Before continuing, however, I would like to add some data to our application, because you know, we have just a few records for each item in our menu here, and for showing you in the best way some of the features, I need more data. So I will pause the recording. I will add some rentals, and I will be back with the same application with more data. All right, so I see you in a moment. All right, so welcome back, and as I said, I added some data to our application. So some new cars, as you can see. I also added the year to the car as a field, because I think it is an important field. So some cars, some customers, and also some rentals. Okay, 123 rentals. So the next thing I wanted to implement was the master details relationships. So basically here, for example, let's say that we are in the edit form of a specific car. I want to see here in this page the list of rentals related to that car, the list of damages related to that car, the list of maintenance services related to that car. This makes the the data presentation more, I would say more, the whole interface more user friendly, and we will see that this also makes our workflow, our rental workflow, faster. So let me see how we can implement that. So we need to go to the phone configurator. In the cars table, for the ID field of cars, we need to add master details views. All right. The first one, the first master details view we want to add is the rentals. So for each car, we want to see the rentals related to that car. So we just need to choose the items table name, that is rentals, and here the items table foreign key field name. So if you are familiar with relational databases, don't focus too much on the term foreign key, because this is not necessarily a foreign key, like literally. Just think about this as the field in the rentals table that, let's say, links to the cars table. So in the rentals table, which is the field that tells me which is the car that has been rented, is the car ID, right? And that's it. Save. If we go back here and we reload the page, at the end of the edit form, we will see all the rentals related to this specific car. Okay, now I'm noticing something that we missed in the fields. That is, I would say, very important. So the plate of the car. So we should add that field as well. All right, we will do that later. Now let me focus on master details. Okay, so here we have 7 items, so 7 rentals related to that car. The first one was, started on April the 4th, and then on April the 8th, 2024, and so on and so forth for the others. Okay, and we can do the same for other tables. So if we want to add also the services, maintenance services related to each car, we can do that. So add another items table. maintenance, and once again, the foreign key between quotes is car ID, and save. Okay. Maintenance, no items found. Well, this means that with the data we have in our database, there's no records, there's no maintenance services related to this car. But you know, if in case you have some data, you would see them here exactly as in the case of the rentals. So let me add very quickly the plate of the car. Add field plate, that's short text, and well, as usual we start with nullable yes. Then this is probably not probably, but for sure a required field. So when we set all the required field, we will change that. So plate. Okay, we have plate also now. All right. Before I said that using master details form also can also make our workflows faster. Why? Well, let's say that we are here and we want to add a rental for this car. Instead of moving to rentals and choosing the right car, we can just create new item from here, create new rental, and the car will be already selected. Obviously, we need to fill the other fields, but at least we save some clicks. Let's move on. The next step, dashboard, bar chart with status, line chart with rentals count. So for the moment, instead of doing a dashboard, we will create two charts, and I will show you how to link those real-time charts with two items here in the menu. Let me show what I want to do. So the first chart was a bar chart with car status. So basically I generate a chart here, I aggregate data by status, and I want to see the count and generate. So we have 10 available cars, 2 in repair cars, and 1 on rent car. So now, obviously, we can generate this chart when we need it, and each time the system will use the current version of the data. But we can also fix. Well, fix is not the right word. We can also add a link here in the menu that always opens the chart. But all the time we click on the link, so when we click on the link, the chart will be regenerated with the current version of the data. Okay? How to do that? So first of all, I have to introduce the Pages tab. The Pages tab. So our application is composed by pages. So far, we have seen just one type of page, the table-related pages. So these are all table pages. When I click on cars, I see the data in the cars table. When I click on customers, I see and I can manage the data in the customers table, and so on and so forth. But we also have other kind of pages. For example, we have custom pages. So a page where basically you can do whatever you want. You can add your own HTML, JavaScript, or PHP code, for example. But this is something we will see maybe later. What I want to show you right now is yet another kind of page that is called it's still a custom page. So the three main categories are page based on table, pages based on view, and custom pages. But a custom page can have different type. The one I will show you is the internal link custom page. An internal link custom page is just a link to an internal page of our application, like this one, for example. So this is a page having its own URL, and that I copy the URL from index.php, so without the AppifyText.ai domain till the end, and I use it here. Okay, so I add a page. The only custom page so far is the home page. I added another page and I call it status chart. Okay, I enable the page, type is internal link, and the link is this one. Okay, good. Save changes. Let me show you the application. Let me reload the application. As you can see, the page has not been added yet. Why? I need to introduce yet another part here, the permissions tab. With the permissions tab, we define who can see what in terms of pages. So status chart, we have two user groups. We will discuss much more about that later. For the moment, let's just focus on the admin group. My user, the user root, is part of the admin group, and for the moment the permission is set to no. We have to set to yes, and save. And let's go back here, and if we click on status chart, now we automatically see the chart. Okay, as you can see, this is another item of our menu. All right, let me add also the other chart, and then we will discuss something about the menu, because maybe we need to organize things a little bit better. So the other chart we wanted to add was, let me check, line chart with rentals count. Line chart with rentals count. So rentals, generate chart. This time we want a line chart, and we want to aggregate data by pickup date. So we want to see a chart, a line chart, showing how many, the idea is to show how many rentals we had for each month. Okay, we have data only for year 2024. So for the first month of 2024, we want to see the let's say the trend. So we aggregate data by pickup date. Every time we have a date, you see that a new menu appears here, because we can choose a month, year, quarter, week. We said that we want to aggregate by month, and we want to show the count. All right, maybe we can make it a little bit wider, so 600 pixels. All right, so this is the trend of this represents the trend of our business in terms of number of rentals. So in February and March, the number of rentals dropped and then raised again. All right, we want to do the same thing we did before for a status chart. So we copy this, and then pages, add page, rentals chart. Okay, and once again we need to give permissions, rentals, admin, yes. Okay, status chart, rental chart. All right. So I was saying before that maybe we need to organize information a little bit better, since we have many items in our menu. One thing you can do is to group together items belonging to the same category. I show you an example. For example, here we can group these two items into the category statistics, stats, for example. How can we do that? It's very easy. Pages, custom pages, and here under the column parent, instead of top, the parent is not top, it's something else, stats, but for status chart and for rentals chart. So this is working as a kind of folder for these two pages. Okay, stats. I can also close the folder and open it. All right. Then users management. Okay, we have to introduce the topic. Let me go here in the admin folder, and I see here users and groups. I can see this only because I'm logged in as root, that is an admin user. Otherwise, non-admin users won't see this part of the menu. By default, AppifyText add a user, only one user. The username is root with a default password that you have to change after the creation of the application. We didn't do that, but you should obviously change the default password. You can do it like this: current password, new password, and new password repeat. Okay, so by default there is one user root and two user groups. The first one is the admin user group, and the second one is the default user group. The users belonging to the admin group typically can do everything, but even for them you can change the permissions. But and this is not something you can change. They can work on users and groups, and they can work on the application in the admin area, so they can change the applications. So people, users belonging to the admin group apart from the permissions you set for them, they always have these two permissions. The permission to access this admin area and change the application itself, including the permissions. So even if you change the permissions for them, they can change them back, and they can work on users and groups. Okay, so in a typical application, users belonging to the admin group are people working on the applications. So typically they are the developers of the application. In our case, we need at least two more groups, managers and managers, what we said, I don't remember. Managers and employees. So the idea is that managers can do everything, basically. Employees can only add customers and rentals. For example, they cannot add a new car. They cannot add a new shop. Okay? So let's do that. First, we create the groups. So group name, managers, and another one, employees. Good. Then in users, we add two users, one belonging to the manager group and the other to the employees group. So create new. Normally we use Bob and Alice as a username for this tests. So Bob. Main group is managers. You can also add additional groups, but we won't do that. Password, I just write Bob. Obviously this is not a secure password. You should choose something different, but this is just a demo, so that's fine. Force password change. When an admin create a new user, choosing the password, typically they want the user to change their password at the first login. Okay, that is more secure, but in our case we set it to no. And save. And then Alice, employees, and Alice. And save. Okay, this is a warning by Google Chrome saying that the password Alice is not secure. Basically, that is true. But again, this is a demo. But just to avoid that message, we can change the password with Alice $. Let's see if it worked. It worked. Okay. All right. Now we have Bob and Alice. Okay. How can we assign permissions to these two users? The key to do that is here in the permissions tab. So for each table or view and each group, you can assign granular permissions about tables and fields. For example, cars, group managers, and here we can set on the table level and on the field level what managers can do on cars. Can managers read records of the table cars? Yes or no? Can managers delete records from cars? Yes or no? And so on and so forth. This is table level, but we can go also more vertically on the field level. So you can say that, for example, managers can create new records for cars, but for the creation of a new car, they cannot add the image. So they can add the make, the model, the status, everything except from the image, for example. Or you can say that they can edit cars, and so you set this to yes, yes, yes. Well, you can use also yes for all, but for example, for I don't know, model, you click here and you set that in the edit form, this field will be visible but disabled. Okay, so you have a lot of combinations you can do, but let's go step by step. Now, for the managers and for the employees groups, all the permissions are set to no. So it would be quite time consuming to go through all the tables and also the custom pages and add the permissions. So we can copy permissions from a group to another group. Okay, so for example, we can copy from admin, the admin group, that is the one we have worked on so far, to the group managers. So we will copy for all tables and custom pages. If I leave this blank, it means copy for everything, the permissions from the admin group to the managers group. Okay, remember that there are two permissions that will not be copied: the permission to access the admin area and the permission to work on users and groups, because those permissions are just for admins. All right, okay, copy. All right, now the managers, except from the two things I said before, they can do everything an admin can do. All right, the permissions are exactly the same. We can try that. We can log out and log in as Bob, and as you can see, we can do everything a root can do. However, we don't have the admin folder here. Okay, and if we click on edit this app, it won't work. Okay, all right, that was the manager user, but let's log in again as root, because we have to continue with the permission settings, because now the managers group is fine, but the employees group is not. So once again, we want to copy, this time from admin or from employee, from managers, it's the same, to group employees for everything. Okay, so now employees have the same permission as managers, but this is not what we want. So we go back to configure group permissions and we remove the permissions we don't want to assign to employees. All right, what I've just done is okay if we are, still working on an application that is not in production. But if your application is in production, so people are using it, obviously it's not a good practice to copy, for example, here from managers to employees, because at least for a while, employees would have more permission than they should. Okay? So let's say that the only difference, we can then refine the permissions, but let's say that the only difference between employees and managers is the fact that employees cannot create new cars. So they cannot create new cars, and they cannot create new shops. Create, no. Okay. Well, we could, just for making some additional examples, changing something on the field level. For example, I don't know. Let's say that employees can can access the edit form for shops, but they can just edit the location. Okay. The name is disabled, the city is disabled, the state is disabled, and the zip code is disabled. Okay, this is just an example to show you how this works. Maybe you have noticed that for the ID field, the create permission is always set to no, and in the edit form it's always disabled. This is correct because the ID, at least the kind of ID created by AppifyText, is an auto-increment ID. So its value is assigned by the system. So when you create a new car, for example, you don't need the ID field in the form because its value will be assigned by the system. And when you edit the car, you don't want to change its ID. Okay, typically. So that's why it's disabled. All right, let me check what happens if I log in as Alice. Alice is part of, belongs to the employees group. Oh yeah, because we add a $sign. Okay, we have everything here, but for cars, we cannot create a new car. For customer we can, for everything else we can, but not for shop. And for shops, if I edit a shop, everything is disabled, so I cannot change it except from location. That was exactly our goal. Let's move on with layout. Okay, change the logo, add some icons, change fonts and colors. So I would like to discuss only this point, icons. Maybe we will discuss the other items later. Add some icons to the menu. So the idea is to add icons to some of the items or all of them here. Okay, we have, however, to log in again as root. All right, so Pages tab, for each item of our menu, we can set an icon. Okay, you can take the icon from the box icons library. Okay, this is a huge icons library we can search from. For example, cars. Maybe we want to add a car icon here, so we can only use a solid icon. Let's search car. Car. Okay, this one. This one is called literally car. So as icon, pages based on tables, cars, icon is car. And save. Let me give you some other example. Shops. Shop. Okay. Well, this one is good. Store is called store. All right. that's the right icon. Well, these are just examples. Obviously, you can do the same for all the other menu items. Okay, this is already a decent application, something we could use, but I still want to improve it, and now it's time to introduce this publish and deploy button. Why? Because some of the improvements I want to do require the use of this feature. So let me explain. The app is already deployed, right? But on the AppifyText server. And that's a temporary hosting. If you want to deploy your application to your own hosting, your own cloud, or even your own laptop, you need to use this publish and deploy feature. And using this feature, you also basically remove all the limitations you have here. For example, you can create dashboards integrating several charts. You can create PDF even with custom templates. But the most important thing is that you can use the low-code features of DaDaBIK. So you can add your own code, you can add your own custom logic. Let me explain more in detail. So, so far, we have used just the no-code features. So basically, from the admin area, we configured some parameters to customize our application. And that's good. I mean, you can already reach a good level of customization, but with low coding, you reach another level, a higher level of customization. You can, as I said, implement your specific logic. Let me give you some example. I don't know, here on customers, for example, we could add here a button that, for example, generates a PDF containing all the rentals related to this customer, and with the same button we can send via email the PDF to the customer. But custom buttons are just an example. You have many other ways you can use to add your own code. For example, what we call in DaDaBIK operational hooks, which means you can set events in your application that trigger the execution of some code, some custom code. We have calculated fields. So, for example, rentals here, the total price could be something that is automatically calculated according to your own formula. For example, I don't know, you can take into consideration the rental price, the number of days, but even the customer. I don't know, for example, for loyal customers, you can use a discount, for example. Okay, we will see how to do this kind of things with minimal use of code. That's low code. Okay, maybe now you're wondering if you need to learn yet another language for low coding, because a lot of low-code platforms require the use of a proprietary language. The answer is no. We will use PHP and JavaScript, which are two of the most common programming languages. In particular for PHP, you can use vanilla PHP if you want, or you can take advantage of the DaDaBIK custom code API, which makes things even easier. Okay, let me summarize. We created a free account on AppifyText.ai. which is an AI agent that uses AI and a no-code, low-code platform called DaDaBIK to build an application for you and to deploy it on the AppifyText.ai server. If you want to unlock all the features, including low-code features, and you want to deploy your apps, I'm using the plural because obviously you can create more than one application. I was saying, if you want to deploy your apps to custom domains, you need a DaDaBIK license that you can get from here. For example, we will deploy, as we said, to the domain carsrentalapp.com. The easiest way to get a DaDaBIK license from here is to start a free trial of a monthly subscription. So basically, you have a 30-day free trial. Then the price is $19 per month. All right. Let me tell you that not only you can cancel the subscription at any time, even during the free trial, obviously. But a few days before the end of the free trial, you will receive an email reminder saying that you are about to pay the first month. So then you can decide to continue or to cancel the subscription. So we will go together through the payment process. We will install DaDaBIK on our hosting, and then we will import there the application we created here. So basically deploying it to carsrentalapp.com. I promise it's easier than you think. This part requires some manual steps, but in future, the plan is to automate this part as well. So the plan is that at some point you will be able to add here the credentials to access your own hosting, and AppifyText will deploy your application not only here but also to your server without any manual step. Okay, so let's start the free trial here. Let me change the language since I'm currently in Italy. By default, the payment window is in Italian. So now it's English. I'm going to fill all these fields. All right, so 30 days free trial. All right, so the free trial has started. Continue. Okay, so we will receive an email message with the download link for DaDaBIK and instructions for the license. This is the email you receive with your serial number and the link to download DaDaBIK. So you click here and you get the package you are going to use on your own. We are going to use to install DaDaBIK on our server. All right, so this is the file, the zip file you get after you start the free trial. We are going to unzip it, and you get this folder containing two folders. Docs, the docs folder contains manuals and other documentation. Program files contains the actual DaDaBIK code, and this is the files, the ones we have here, we need to upload to our server. Here instead you can see the admin panel of our hosting server service, in particular for the carsrentalapp.com domain. This is Plesk, that is a software for it's an admin panel, very popular on hosting services. You may have another panel like cPanel, for example, or even other ones. It doesn't matter, because I mean you can also use simple SFTP, because what we need to do is just to upload the files in the program files folder to here. Okay, so right now this is empty. Okay, in fact, if we visit carsrentalapp.com, we get just a test page, a default test page. We need to upload things here. So the fastest way is to zip everything we have here. So everything we have in the program files, I can create a zip file from that. I mean, you can also, at least in Plesk, just select all the files and just drag and drop them here. But uploading a zip file is faster. Okay, so before doing that, before this uploading steps, I recommend to suspend the website. So okay, now the website is suspended. Let me check here. Okay, this means that nobody can access the website and the content of the HTTP docs folder. That is the folder containing the content of our website. Because otherwise, for example, if we upload a zip file like we are doing right now, someone could download a zip file that we will unzip and then delete. Someone in the meantime could download from our website our zip file, and this is not what we want. And also people may access an unstable version of the application during this upload step. So best thing to do is to suspend the website, and then we drag and drop the zip file here. Okay, almost done. Okay, good. Close, and then we extract the files. Okay, here we go. Don't forget to remove the zip file. We don't need it anymore. All right, everything seems fine now. Now we can go back here and re-enable the website. Now carsrentalapp.com is installed. Is active. And what we are going to do right now is to install DaDaBIK there, because we uploaded the files and now we launched the installation process from carsrentalapp.com. Okay, so here /install.php is the installation script. Okay. All right. In the DaDaBIK manual, obviously you have all the instructions for the installation, but I'm here, so I will guide you through the process. The first thing we have to do is to edit a configuration file containing a few parameters, for example, the ones related to our MySQL connection. Let me show what I mean. Here in Files, you have to take the file in the include folder called config_custom.php, and here you have to add at least some required configuration parameters. The easiest way to get the required parameters is to check the manual of DaDaBIK. In the installation chapter, there is a part related to this config custom file. You take this template, this example, and you copy the example here. And here we are going to use our serial number, DBMS type, and so on and so forth that are related to our hosting. Okay, so serial number is the one you got from FastSpring. So when you started the free trial, you got a download link and the serial number. You have to add the serial number here. So I'm pasting my serial number here. Then DBMS type, we are using MySQL, but here with our hosting provider, but as other options, DaDaBIK also supports Postgres, Microsoft SQL Server, and SQLite. Host is the host where MySQL is running, and that's localhost, and then we need the database name, user, and password to connect. These are information that our hosting provider can give you, basically. So when you buy the domain, you also need to create a database, an empty database, and that's what I did. Later I will show you, and you will get also a user and password to connect. Okay, so in our case, the database name is Cars Rental App. The user is also Cars Rental App, and here I will paste my password. All right, secret key and DaDaBIK session name. These are two security-related parameters. On the manual and in particular on the file config.php, you will find all the details. Let me just, add some. That should be a random and complex phrase, at least 60 characters. I'm just adding, some random characters here, but you have to pick up a good secret key and DaDaBIK session name. And finally, time zone for me is correct, Europe, Rome. Okay, then save, and let's move back to the installation script. Okay. Okay, here everything seems fine. Okay, here we have several ways to install DaDaBIK. This is the most common. We have already a database with some tables. We want to build an app on the top of the database, but this is not the option we are going to use, because what we want to do is, remember, we are going to import the application we created on AppifyText here. So we need to build a blank empty application in the database cars rental app. Let me show you the database. Databases. This is the database kind of linked to this domain. And okay, PHP myadmin. All right, this is the database and it's completely empty, right? And that's fine. Okay, blank application. Next. Now we have to choose a password here. Install. Okay. The installation is done. What the installation process suggests here is to delete these installation and upgrade files for security reasons. So we are going to do that. From here we remove install 2, upgrade 2, app and app 2. Remove, and let's go. Okay, so now we can check the application we have just created during this installation, but we will see that it's just a blank application. But we will import soon the application we created here. So if I open the application and I'm using root, that is the default admin user, and the password I set before, I will see basically an empty application. All right. Now let's go back to AppifyText.ai to export the application we created. Double check that you are still logged in, and you need to visit this address, AppifyText.ai/myapps, exactly like that. You will see this page. And well, we have just one application, car rental business. You may have more than one. For each application, you can download, kind of export the application you created to import it in your DaDaBIK installation. Okay, here you have all the instructions. So I'm going to download. All right, this is the file we got. Okay, it's again a compressed file, so I'm going to uncompress it and we get an SQL file. Then install DaDaBIK using build a new blank application. We did it. Do not, well, that's a typo. Do not delete the file upgrade2.php. I forgot that. So we deleted all those files, including upgrade2.php, but we needed that file. So let's go back here, and I can easily, since I still have all my program files here, I can easily re-upload upgrade2.php. All right. Run the execute the SQL file you got in the database you install DaDaBIK into. So let's go back here. Now the database is not empty anymore. If I reload this, you will see a lot of tables. Let me change the language. All right. Now we have to execute, to run the SQL file we downloaded here. There are many ways to do that. If you are using phpMyAdmin, import. Okay, this is the file, right? Import. All right, let's move on. Now we need to run that upgrade2.php script, and we have an URL here. So obviously the first part changes according to your own domain, so it's not mysite.com. Is going to be carsrentalapp.com, and there's no data. That's an example where DaDaBIK is installed in a subfolder, but it's not our case. So we just copy the last part, the one starting with upgrade2.php, and we paste it here. Okay, let me double check. Yes. All right. Okay. Once again, the system asks us to remove those files. So this time we have to. So the other ones are already gone, but we need to remove upgrade2. Yes, remove. That's it. Start. Here we go. We have here on carsrentalapp.com the same application we created here on AppifyText. All right, we imported the application. So that's exactly the same application, right? Rental, shops, and now all the features are, I mean, not only we have on the application on our own domain, but all the features of DaDaBIK are unlocked, and we can use also the low-code features that we will see in a moment. Well, let me tell you something about some built-in features that have been unlocked. For example, we can import here for each entity here, so for each table, we can import data from Excel, CSV, so that's this can be very helpful. We can generate PDF. We can generate PDF. By default, we only have the standard template, so we will see just you know, the record one after the other, but you can define, you can create your own custom template for customizing the PDF. But let's just see, you know, this is again the standard template. Is just one record after the other. You can create dashboards, and maybe that's one of the things I'm going to show you. But I want to go back to my notes here and check with you the additional improvements. At least this is my plan, what I want to do now, and a lot of this, probably almost all these elements require low coding, so we will see some low coding in action. So first of all, I want to add a start and end rental button. So so far we have already two fields with start and end of the rental, but let's say they are the planned start and end. but then maybe the actual start and end are different. So we will add two fields, and we will have two buttons to actually fill those fields. Then we want to calculate automatically the planned cost according to our formula. At the moment, we have to fill the field manually. We want to add badges for cars. So close to each car, we want to see a different badge with a different color according to its status. We want to add another button to email a rental plan to a customer. I don't know, we could here, maybe close to each rental here, or maybe even here in the grid, we can add a button that sends the rental plan to the customer involved in this rental, obviously. Validation. Before adding a rental, the system should check if the car is available during that time. The creation of a PDF receipt, and a report. We will add a report, a car revenues report. For each car, I want to see the rental count, so how many times that car has been rented, the revenues generated, and the costs generated. Remember that we have damages, we have maintenance services, those are costs. So this is my plan. I'm not sure I will do everything. For sure, I won't do everything in this first episode. In this first episode, I will just show you something, and later, in a second, and I guess last episode, I will implement all or some of these improvements. Okay. One thing I wanted to tell you is related to users. The users you see here, if you remember, are again the ones we had on the app created on AppifyText. And if you remember, we said, okay, this is just a test, let's keep the default passwords, but now we are deploying our application. It's time to change the passwords, right? Actually, this is the first thing you should do when you deploy your application. Well, it's even better if you do it on AppifyText. So when you deploy your application, the passwords are already changed. But you can change it from here. I just show you how to do it. Then I will do it for the final release of the application. So right now I'm logged in as root, so I can change my password here. Current password, new password. So everybody can change their own password from here. And admin users like root can also change the password of the other users. So for example, I can enter here the Bob edit form and change his password here. Okay, let's go on. As anticipated, I would like to show you how to create a dashboard. A dashboard is still, at least the kind of dashboard I will show you, is still no code. It's not low code, but it's something that we couldn't do as we will do it here in AppifyText. We need to use DaDaBIK. So the idea is to have a page here, to add a page here where we combine several reports, charts, and so on and so forth. Okay, how can we do that? Well, it's very easy. First of all, we have to create the page. So from the edit this app, admin area, as we did on Appify Text. Custom pages. We use this section to create the two pages with status chart and rentals chart. We create another page here, and we call it dashboard. We enable the page. This time we leave HTML. This means that this is an HTML page, a custom HTML page, which means we can just write here the content of the page in HTML, if we know HTML, or using this tool that allows us to format the content. So for example, we can write a title here, so format heading 1. This is our dashboard, and we want to embed here some charts. So differently from Appify Text, here every time if you are logged in as an admin, every time you see a results grid, a chart, a pivot table, you have this button, Show Embed Code, that allows you to take some generated code and paste it in a custom page, for example, to embed this data grid in a custom page. So for example, let's say we want to embed these two charts that right now are into two separated pages in our dashboard. So this is the first one, Show Embed Code. Here is the code we have to copy and paste in our dashboard. We cannot paste it here because here this is just a visual tool to format to write HTML. We have to go in the source code. This is just pure HTML. I copy this code here, and this is the first chart and also the second one. So rentals chart, show embed code, copy and paste and save. All right, as you can see here we have a preview of our dashboard. Let's improve it a little bit. Let's call it cars by status, and let's make it bold. And this one is rentals by month. Okay, rentals by month. Okay, we can add other charts, other data grids, but let's try to see what happens here. If I try to reload the application, I don't see the dashboard. Why? Once again, because of the permissions. So we have to assign the permissions to see the dashboard to the groups we want to allow to see the dashboard. So just for this test, we allow the to view the dashboard. Sorry, I made a typo here, but we can correct that. Dashboard. Okay, let's go back here, and now we have dashboard. Okay, cars by status, rentals by month. Guys, this is again pure HTML. So from here you can format as you want the page, right? You can, I don't know, put all the charts in a row, add content of any kind. This is just HTML. Maybe we want to move the dashboard here. We can also, replace the home with our dashboard, because the home was just some content generated by AppifyText. So maybe we can do that. This is not the home anymore, this is the home. So save changes. Okay, dashboard. Being the home page means that you are on the top of the menu, and that this is the first page the user will see after the login. All right. And I don't know, we can also, if we want, we can remove the other home page. So this is our dashboard. You can add an icon if you want. You can do, you can do a lot of things to improve the layout. Remember that every time you reload the page, the data is DaDaBIK reads the data from the database. So if in this precise moment a car that was available is now in repair, when you reload, you will see 9 here and 3 here, right? So now I want to start implementing some of these improvements, and I will start with badges for cars. Badges for cars. I want to add a little badge close to each card with different color according to the status. One thing I need to tell you about cars is also related to the uploaded files. So this is the only thing that is not preserved when you export an application from AppifyText and import it in DaDaBIK. So the files, in this case, there are images uploaded in the applications, are not exported at the moment. Maybe this will be implemented in the future. So if you remember, we had in this case the only picture uploaded was this one, the Miata. The other ones were, all the other cars used just a test picture car that AppifyText uses as a placeholder. So but anyway, in case you have uploaded files, you have to upload them again, okay, at least for the moment. So what I want to do here with badges is to replace this status with a badge, and we want to use Bootstrap for that. So DaDaBIK uses Bootstrap 5. So you can use Bootstrap in your code, basically. And what I'm going to show you is the very first, activity of low coding. This is called custom formatting function. A custom formatting function is a function in PHP that you can write to take a value from the results grid or from the details page and format it in some way you like. Okay, so we have to write the actual code. Here is very simple. We have to open a specific file in the include folder, custom functions folder. We open custom formatting functions.php. Here we write all our custom formatting functions. Okay, and we can do something like function. The function name must start with DaDaBIK underscore DaDaBIK format car status, for example. Okay, so this custom formatting function, well, in general, custom formatting functions have as a parameter in input, well, two parameters. We will use just one here. Let's call it value. And this is the value we receive from the system. In this case, it will be available, on rent, in repair, this one. And here we need to return the formatted value. So a different string that, you know, takes in input the value as it was and transform it in a new string. So for example, we can use again the badges here. So in Bootstrap, if we surround a string with span class badge, you will get something like this. And adding this second class allows to choose basically the style of the badge, basically the color, okay? Background color. Primary is blue, secondary by default is gray, and so on and so forth. Let's try to do it. So we return this, but instead of new, so new was just you know, what I copied from here, this word. Instead of new, we need what? We need value, right? Because value is what we have here, available, on rent, in repair. So every time when we open the results grid, every time the system sees read status, it will send the status value to DaDaBIK format car status, and it will use, instead of the, you know, pure value, this one, surrounded by span class badge, BG secondary, and so on and so forth. So obviously then we will change the color according to the status, but for the moment let's just see if this works. In order to use this function, because right now, you know, well, we call it low code because actually we have just one line of code so far, right? But so far we have just defined the function, but now we need to tell DaDaBIK to use the function. So in form configurator, cars, table cars, field status, we have to choose a custom formatting function. So I click here, I type dada, and there is just one function, so this one, DaDaBIK format car status, and save. Let's go back here. Good, it is working, but of course for all the for available, on rent, and in repair, we always have this gray color. That is not what we want. We want to change the color according to the status. So we can do something like if value is equal to available, then let's say that color equal to BG. So the green one is BG success. Else if value is equal to on rent, then color BG danger. Okay, and else color secondary, for example. Okay, so in here color. Okay, if you're not familiar with PHP, well, if you are at least a little bit familiar with any programming language, this should be very easy to understand. If you are not familiar, even if you are not familiar with any programming language, probably it's not so hard to get, right? Here we have an if statement that checks the value we receive. If it's available, we set color as BG success. If it's on rent, we set a different color. Else, so in all the other cases that in our application is just one case that is in repair, we set to the color to BG secondary. And then here, instead of returning just the same color every time, we return the variable $color. Okay, in PHP, if you're not familiar with PHP, variables names start with the dollar sign. Let's see if it's working. Good, it's working. Now we have the information, but the information is more it's easier to read, right, with the colors. Okay, so custom formatting functions was the first way to inject your own custom code into a DaDaBIK application. And let me tell you that this function we wrote is pure PHP. So you have maximum flexibility. You can do whatever you want if you can express that in PHP. The only thing you have to do is return something that is what you want to display, as we said, in the results grid, this screen, this page, and in the details page. Okay, so this is done, so we can badges for cars, we can delete this format text. Okay, this is done. Next topic, next improvement I want to discuss is this one: automatic calculation of the total planned cost. At the moment, when you create a new rental, you define the car, pickup date, return date, and you also have to type the total price. We want to make this a calculated field, and this is so a field that is automatically whose value is automatically computed by the application. And that's the second way I'm showing you to inject your code. So the first one was custom formatting function. This is a second method called calculated fields. So this is going to be a little bit, well, this is probably going to be the most complex thing we will see in this first episode of the video, but I'll promise that you can finally do this, implement this in 4 or 5 lines of PHP, something like that. All right, so what we have to do here, so the idea is the following one. When the user selects a car, a pickup date, and a return date, here automatically the system will compute the total price. based on the rental price you have for the car. This is a rental price per day, multiplied by the number of days, okay, that is computed considering pickup and return date. How to do that? So we have to create a custom function, even in this case, but before we were working on the custom formatting functions file. This time we have to work on another file where all our calculated fields functions are stored. Okay, so we can also remove this closing PHP tag. We can define our function and we can call it DaDaBIK calculate. As we said before, this is, you know, a name you can choose, but it must start with DaDaBIK underscore. DaDaBIK calculate rental price, and this is our function. Okay, this function, well, in general, all these kind of functions get in input something called params. What is params? So technically, I mean, in PHP, this is a so-called associative array. If you come from other languages, you may call this dictionary. But the concept is the same, basically. You have a data structure, a sort of variable, having, you know, different values stored according to the key you used. Let me explain. So when you are here, and when the user changes something in the form, this function is executed and params will contain the values for each field in the form. So for example, notes is the field rental notes. Okay, the name of the field is notes. Params notes will contain the content of the field notes. Okay, obviously it's very useful because we need to know what the user selected in the form in order to calculate the total price. All right, so first of all, we need to know which is the rental price for the car selected, right? So how can we do that? Because here we have the ID of the car, but not the rental price of the car. So we cannot access directly through params the rental price for the car, because it's not a field that we have in the form. So we have to take the ID of the car and use it to select in the cars table the rental price for that car. Okay, so let's do it step by step. So first of all, what's the name of this field? Is car underscore ID, if I remember well. Yes, car underscore ID. So in params car underscore ID, we have the ID of the car selected by the user. Okay, now we have to get the rental price through a query. Okay, we need to get the rental price by selecting the information from the cars tab. So we can just use plain PHP and execute a query, but it's a lot easier to use the so-called custom code API. And here I have already highlighted in the manual the API method we need. It's called get record details. This is a method of the DaDaBIK API, custom code API, that allows to get having the value of the primary key of a table, the values of all the fields related to that record. Let me just copy and paste this, then we will adapt to our needs. So this was an example with a hypothetical customers table. In our case, the table is cars. So car info equal to, let me write that and then I will explain. So here we are using get record details that has three parameters. First one is the name of the table. Second one is the name of the primary key of the table. It could also be not a primary key, but you know, you need to get unique values. So I don't want to go into these details at the moment. Just think about that as the primary key of the cars table and the value of the record that we want to get. So here basically we are saying tell me everything you know about the car having ID, I don't know, 8, and the system will store all the information about the car having ID 8 here, car info. So in car info we will have something like I don't know, the model. In car info model we will have the model of the car. In car info rental price, the rental price of the car, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we know that rental price is equal to car info, rental price. Okay, so now here in this variable we have the rental price. So the first element of our formula is here. Now we have to calculate the number of days. Okay, so first we have to get the dates here, and once again we can use params. So pickup date is equal to params pickup date. Let me check if the the field name is the correct one. Yes, pickup and return, pickup date and return date equal to return the params return date. Now the easiest way to compute the difference in days between these two days is in PHP to create datetime objects. So instead of just storing params pickup date, that is just a string, we create a new datetime. New datetime. So now this is not just a string from the point of view of PHP, it's a datetime object, and this allows us to easily use the the datetime functions provided by PHP to compute the difference in days. So something like pickup date diff return date. This is the interval, and if we add also days, we get the interval in days. So this we will store this into days number equal to. So now rental price contains the rental price per day for that car. Days number, the number of the days. We just have to return rental price multiplied by days number. Okay. There is still something. So this is the core of our code. You know, as I promised, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code. There is still something we have to do because we need to do this only when car ID, pickup date, and return date are set. Okay, otherwise we can get errors or, you know, inconsistent results in our total price. So first we check if params ID car is different. This is different than empty string. So car ID must be different than empty string, and this is the Boolean AND in PHP, and also params pickup date must be different than the empty string, and also finally return date. Okay, so since we are using AND, all these three conditions must be true if to make true the whole, you know, the whole if statement, the whole condition in the if statement. So when car ID, pickup date, and return date are set, then you execute this code. Otherwise, else, you return just an empty string. Okay? And this is our function. We will check if it works. Maybe if there is something to adjust, we will do it. Now, as we did before, if you remember for custom formatting functions, we have to tell DaDaBIK to use that function, because this is just the function definition. But then we have to go to the form configurator, rentals, total price, and we have to tell DaDaBIK that this is for this field we will use a calculated field function. Once again, we type Dada, and all the calculated field functions will appear. In our case, just one. We select this and we save. Okay. So rentals again and create new. All right. Probably you have noticed that now is that this field is disabled. Why? Because it's a calculated field. We cannot type values here. Okay. So let's say we take the Toyota from August 8 to August 10. Okay, so 2 days. We have a total price automatically calculated 100. So probably we will check that, but probably the rental price per day for the Toyota is 50. Okay, as soon as you change this everything will be adjusted. So everything, I mean, the total price will be adjusted. So 150, even if I change the car. Okay, and well, that's it. Basically, this is our calculated fee. Let's just check if the rental price, yes, was 50. So that's everything seems to work. Once again, this is just PHP, so your calculated field function can be as complex as you want. You can add as many, rules as you want. So, for example, you can get. Let me go back here. You can use the customer ID also in your formula. Maybe you have for each customers here. For each customer, you have a discount, a different discount value. Okay, so according to the customer selected, you apply a discount to the price, or maybe you have different you have discounts in some periods of the year. So according to the pickup and return date, you may adjust your total price. You're free to do anything that you can express in PHP. You can also call external APIs if you need that. All right. So this was the second way to inject code, and this is done as well, right? So format text, and that's it. Okay, before moving on, I think we need to discuss a little bit something we skipped during the first part related to layout. So how to adjust out, how to customize your layout. In the very first part of this video, before deployment, we worked on icons. So we added some icons to the menu items. Now, well, there are many ways you can use to impact on to customize your layout. The two I'm going to show you are the logo customization and the CSS editing. So let's talk about the logo. So by default, when you install DaDaBIK, you get the DaDaBIK logo for the application, but obviously you can change it. The first thing you have to do is, creating your logo. I did it on Canva, so I just took a logo template related to car rental on Canva, and I slightly modify it. Then we need to upload the logo in the images folder. Okay, so I will do it. Okay, car rental logo.png, done. And then we move here on layout, and on basic settings we set the name of the logo. Car rental, what was it? Car rental logo.png. Car rental logo.png. All right. Okay, this is our new logo, and that's one thing. The other thing I want to tell you is that from here, from custom CSS, you can add your custom CSS. So if you know CSS, you can add your own CSS code and basically change almost any element of the layout. How? Well, basically almost any element in the DaDaBIK layout has a class, a CSS class, so you can check the class of the element you want to customize and add your styles here. Let me give you an example. Well, let me add something more. For many elements, you will see that their classes are bootstrap classes. So you can also work, if you're familiar with Bootstrap, you can also work with Bootstrap. So, for example, these are buttons. These are buttons. These are Bootstrap buttons. And, well, we can literally see here that okay, so for example this one, the class of the button is well, we can see three classes here: button, button primary, button small. Button small is impact on the size. Button is the general button class. Button primary is well, with button primary you basically select the color of the button. So in our application, the primary buttons have this purple color. Let's say you don't like it. Okay, let's say you want to make them red. Okay, so from here we'll work on the class button primary, saying that the background color is red. Okay, here we go. Let's say that we don't want a so bright red, so we can use the hexadecimal color code. I don't know, for example, D00 should be something different. All right. Well, as you can see, the border, well, if the mouse is over the button, the color is still purple, so we should work on that. The border is still purple, so we should work on that. But if you know a little bit of CSS, or well, it's very easy to get familiar with it, to find information online. You can for sure customize very easily your layout. For example, here we have changed the border color as well, as you can see. Okay, let me restore the original color. I just delete my custom CSS. All right, good. So I think I'll keep the rest of the improvements for a next episode. We have already a pretty good application, I would say. So if you have any questions, please add a comment here. And if you want to get notified when the next episode will be published, subscribe the channel and hit the notification bell. All right, so let me summarize what you need to get this application. First of all, you register to AppifyText.ai. That's a free registration. You just need email and password. And then if you want to deploy the application and to unlock all the features of DaDaBIK, you can start from here, from AppifyText, sorry, you can click publish and deploy this app to start a monthly subscription of DaDaBIK. First 30 days are free. You can cancel anytime. If you don't like monthly subscriptions and you prefer lifetime licenses, so you pay once and you use forever, well, we also offer that kind of licensing. Just visit DaDaBIK.com, pricing, and you will see all the options you have. All right, so that's it for this episode, and see you next time. Ciao.